Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island, and Tina Bird calling from where she is. We'll let her say hello. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tommy, and hello, everybody here in the UK and in Hawaii. It's Tuesday night, and it's quite dark here. Not been going on. There's been a few little sightings here in the UK, but apart from that, I've missed you all. And it's the 1st of December tomorrow, so this year's drawing to a close very quickly.
So my birthday is soon. It's coming up real fast. Another week or so. But here in Hawaii, it's been raining so much at night. So I went over to my friend's house for 5 minutes to tell him something, and then I look up and the sky had an opening with stars coming out. And I tell the one lady there, I said, "Hey, excuse me." I said, "I think we'll be able to see a lot of UFOs tonight." And then we looked in this circle that was above us. We saw 3 ships in 5 minutes. And then I ran home because I was going to go out on my platform up on the roof. And sure enough, it started raining by the time I got home. So I never get to watch the sky. I built this cool platform to get to the roof so I could look at the sky, but I never get to use it. Hawaii has been having such weird weather, and they still keep on insisting on spraying us with chemtrails, more so than not, which is pretty sad. I know years ago they said they were going to spray a chemical over this island to see if they can control the drug addicts. Seriously. And whether they did or not, whether they're still doing it or not, it doesn't help with drugs, that's for sure. It's supposed to slow everybody down. People in Hawaii are naturally slow in the first place. So does that mean anything?
Tommy.
If you read the title, if you're on your show right now, you saw what I was talking about. Now, we have been involved. I have been involved with UFOs and stuff since 1958, personally. All right. And probably started publicly in 47, 48, 49, 51, 52 were the biggest growing years of the whole aspect of that, when they had to create MJ-12, and then the whole thing kind of disappeared from the public. So like 1952, the year I was born, that's when they had a fleet of UFOs over the White House twice in 1 week. And they did nothing about it. What could they do, really? Right now, people, just so you know, and you don't have to believe any information that we give you, but I only can give you the truth from what I know as fact, that we have the ability to shoot down UFOs. All right? And we did. And that is causing major problems in a lot of different ways. Billy Meyer's friends, we shot one of their ships down. And basically they said if we shoot another ship down, they will attack the world. All right? So that probably will never happen again, because their ships are so high tech. I mean, if you look at the original Billy Meyer's photos of his ships to compare to what they are now, there's no comparison. So, but again, look at how much we advanced in 50 years and what we came from, what we were flying 50 years ago. Never mind 100 years ago when we first learned how to fly and all that. So yeah, we move forward, but compared to alien races that are thousands and thousands of years older than us, their technology, I say every 25 years we take a giant leap, but we take a smaller leap every 10 years. And in technology, just mind boggles people. And what's going to happen in the next 10 years will blow everybody away completely, the people that will still be here. All right. They are doing Agenda 20, UN Agenda 21-30. It was accepted by 193 countries. And basically, you need to read about it, because we're already in phase 4 of it. Phase up until 2030 will be one world order. And that's basically what 6 presidents agreed on. Never mind, 193 countries all agreed on it. We can't have multiple laws, multiple things, but it's called complete control. It won't be complete freedom by any aspect. But in the UFO world, now what I'm trying to get into today is all the stories, all the information giving out to the public. What is beneficial to us right now? Anything they ever said. They're still trying to debate whether the Tic Tac was a real ship, was it from another world. That's what they're giving us.
Can I just, sorry, Tommy. On that note, Tommy's quite right. And I've been watching lately. I think they've just put a lot of old footage over the last 2 years, just repeating it. It just seems to be the last footage of the last 2 years or last 3 years that they're just recycling the news and putting the same news back out there. So it's not breaking news or news like old news, but they're just bringing it to the front more. It's the fact that, yes, now there's been breakthroughs. We've seen all the videos. All recently, a senator in the States has put forward some new legislation about UFOs and what have you. But then they've just done it. Like, yes, we know, well, UFOs are real. Where do they come from? What's their objective? They haven't really made a public announcement like everyone in the UFO world, in ufology, have been waiting for. Yes, we do realise now, like, the UFOs are real. They haven't said that. They've kind of sidestepped that bit to the public. To address to the nation should be, we accept that UFOs are real. The next step is this, and this is what we're doing. They haven't done any of that. They've just bypassed all of that, which saves them the can of worms. Like, all these people that have been abducted over the years are right. All these servicemen and women that have seen things are right. All these additional people around the world are right about what they've seen, what they've said they've seen, videos, pictures, and that they've captured and incidents that have been recorded. These people are right. They're just blurred back into the background, totally forgot about and sidestepped around, gone from, no, they're crazy to, yeah, well, we know that, but it's about origin now. We want to find the origin. They're not saying, well, they're UFOs. They are not from this planet, and people are right and have been right. We now announce that, we accept it. They've bypassed all that and just gone straight for legislation. So a bit of a split decision, really, about how they've come out and really said, yes, this is disclosure. But Tommy.
Well, what I mentioned already, but what I wanted to go into, the stories we hear, the biggest name speakers say that they're saying what they think. All right? Who cares what anybody thinks? Thinking, people talking to themselves, but telling us what you think, who cares? If you had something important to say, is a different story. If you had evidence of what you're saying, is another story. But if you think aliens are here to make friends with us and teach us how to build new houses, think again. We don't need to hear stories like that because they're not even close to the truth. If that was the case, we would be making better houses a long time ago. If they were here to help us in any other way, we would have felt it, experienced it, and know it right now. We don't need people telling us what they think, especially these big name speakers that have no clue. They never saw an alien, which I did, which Tina did. They were never close to a ship. I was, Tina was. These people don't even know what a ship really looks like from close up, what it feels like if you touch it, or even anything close to that. They know zero, and they listen to other people's stories, and they create their thesis from what they hear. If you have 10,000 lies and you try to write a book, what do you think the book's going to be about? Liars. It should be, but not about truth. So when we hear these things about, well, the word I hate, I call it experiences, which is the new UFO word in the UFO world, where people that get abducted say, we're an experiencer. We had a great experience. And Tina's one of the people that can actually say they're you know what, because basically you don't want to be abducted. And I know people come onto my site even say, oh, I want to go up. I want to go up. I want to. No, you don't. It's not like you're going to see your family. You're not going to see your family. You're not going to see people that care about you. You're not going to see people that care about what you feel and what you go through. They do what they want to do. They're like mad doctors performing on sick entities, who knows what they are, in their viewpoint, to do whatever they want. And they're not going to give you a nice dinner. They're not going to show you around and see beautiful things. You're going to see a bunch of machines and people staring at you. You're not going to see anything good. So why would you want to get abducted? I mean, Musk is trying to get everybody to go to Mars. Okay, big deal. Why do we want to go there? You think you're going to have the same shower in the morning when you wake up, same food, choice of food, being able to go to the ocean and sit down by the ocean or go and jump into a lake? You think you're going to have any of the real pleasures that exist on planet Earth that no planet in our solar system has? well, that we deal with or know about directly. All right, I can go into stories, but I don't like to tell too many stories. But the tall whites actually were trying to work with the United States. They wanted to bring us to a world that's like this world, and the United States said no. They want to go there by their own means. Okay, so the tall whites do not help us, and they're very dangerous to us people. If you know what a tall white is or what they look like, and they come near you, if they're really here, they will kill you if they touch you, just so you know. So when these people say, well, I work with the tall whites, no, you don't. One person that actually worked with them on Area 54 was the only person that actually talked about it in any important viewpoint or ideas what's happened when you do it. He came close to one, and he almost died. All right? They emit some kind of frequency energy that actually kill people. So we can't be next to them. So when you hear stories, listen to what people say about tall whites, the Anunnaki, all these different races, okay? Now, people assume whatever they see, if they're in white, they're good. Why is white making somebody spiritual? If I put on a white robe and go out and kill people, I'm a good person? I mean, people have this concept, the person, the gladiator that comes to rescue somebody has to wear white. I mean, the perception of a color has nothing to do with people. I'm telling you, the incredible spiritual beings on the inner world wear purple, they wear black. They're not dressed in white. First off, who's designing the clothes for these people? Where did they get their clothes from? Let's go shopping there. People don't think about anything. Do they wear shoes? What kind of shoes are they wearing? Do they carry a pocketbook? I mean, these things people kind of ignore, but then they expect something good if they went to a planet. What do you think you're going to eat if you go to another planet? If it wasn't food that was brought from planet Earth, it would probably be useless for you. But here's the thing, people. The truth is important. We need it now, more than ever. With all the things that are happening, we need to know why rich people are programmed and in this situation where they don't care about middle class and poor people. Why they are destroying the planet in many, many, many ways. A lot of people coming into the chat room today. I'm so glad. If anybody that's here, thank you for coming in. Questions, put them up down in there if you want. Come on if you want. It's open. We deal with truth only. We don't want to hear storytelling. They like to come out and say some stupid story. I was doing a show with TJ Morris for almost 10 years, and this guy came on and went into this great long story. Oh, you dummies, this isn't a real story. I mean, some people get their pleasure out of doing things like that. Not this show. We only give you the truth. We only care about what you perceive when you go out to the real world, what you expect, what you respect, what you listen to. If you go to a UFO conference, I know Tina doesn't mind people there, and okay, I do. I met all the big name UFO people years ago. The important ones are dead, people. The ones that are out there, like, I'm not going to say their names, the big names that are in England and other countries that come around the United States once in a while, they tell great stories, but they have no proof, and they don't show us anything important. The only thing I heard once was when I went to see somebody that came to Hawaii, his last trip around the world, supposedly at that time. And he goes, well, they're putting these meters on your house, and they're going to measure everything you do in your house. The smart meters, he was right on. He was the first person actually telling people not to let them do it. And in Hawaii, you pay $10 if you don't let them put it on.
See, that gets me. So for a smart meter here in the UK, if you've got a smart meter, you have to plug it in, which means you're using electricity they're then billing you for using. Causes more waste, more global catastrophe, more energy to monitor you and your usage.
You have to plug it in?
Yeah.
Here, they just take the meter away and put a new meter in.
So here in the UK, we have a mains connected to the mains gas and electric meter. Now, to monitor that, you get a device that plugs in, so it uses electricity.
Well, basically, you know, when you plug it in like that, that means they can scan it anytime they want. You can scan it anytime you want. But nothing they do for us is good. Realize that, people. A smart meter means a dopey meter. It means you're dopey to let them put a smart meter in. Because what it does, if you do anything weird in your house, they measure it. You use too much electricity. They look at why. They look at the surges of light when you use lighting. If you have lights on all the time, they look at that. They look at everything you do when you open a refrigerator.
In the UK, sorry, Tommy, in the UK now, when you buy a fridge or freezer or an electrical device like that, it comes with a microchip in it, and it gives the government or the energy people the ability at some point to turn your fridge up and down or send it less electricity without you knowing.
Well, they knew that, all right, when they started putting them in TVs a couple of years ago. All right, and very few people complain about that.
Smart
TVs
in the UK can record your conversation, but like Alexa. So if you're on and Alexa's in your room, it can record your voice. It can record your bank details, anything.
You know, when they use the word smart, it means you're stupid. That's what it means. All right, because anything that's some smart government thing is stupid for us because it does not help us. All right, if you think any information is beneficial to us about things like that, it's not. But to the government, they can monitor because people that grow marijuana, people that do different things, they can tell just by the measurement of your what you're using, how much you're using, why, and things like that. It's not about freedom, people. Nothing smart is about freedom for us. All right, free will. We don't have it.
We're enslaved to it. The human race, the way I look at it is we're enslaved to our own race. Every single human being on the planet. So when you're born, you have to go to school in the UK. So you have to register. They have all your information. You have to go to work to pay bills that you're using. If we didn't use it, technology, and went back to camping in fields and building bonfires or living off the land, we wouldn't have any of this. But you play the game, you follow the rules, you're dictated to by the government, you've got to vote, you've got to register, you've got to register with the doctor, you've got to register with the dentist, which you then have to pay for. It's like a vicious circle, and then you have to pay tax, which means you have to work longer, which you don't have life, you don't spend time with your family, and you're just a slave to the human race. So the human race is a fool to itself. We work for ourselves. We do nothing. It takes private companies to reach space, and they don't share information with the public that help get them there. So to me, it's very, and it's not equal around the world. So to me, it's very off. But going back to what you just said a bit earlier about, again, it's the sidestepping issue. So these people that say they have experiences, and they are an experiencer and not an abductee, because there are two different things in my book. I can cross the street, that's experience. You get abducted, I think that's something a bit more serious than that. And like you said, anyone that says that they want to be abducted they need a psychiatric evaluation. It's the most horrific thing that's ever happened to me. And for people to say, no, you don't know what you're talking about, because if you did, you wouldn't say things like that. You know, people that have been abducted are victims, and not of our race. There is a convention out there to stop people being taken and abducted. You know, see, one of these conventions about torture and things like that. That doesn't apply. That applies to all the human race, but it doesn't seem to apply to beings that come in from another world, a threat to humanity. That they're quite, you know, they do it with impunity, and just leave the human race, you know, with nothing, with damaged bodies that they return. That gets us nowhere. But I may seem a bit angry and harsh about this and one-sided, but I can only tell you from my point of view, nobody's helped me in this. Nobody's given me information about this. Nobody's ever apologized to me or my family about what we've been through. So, and it takes your life from you at some point. You stop trusting human beings. You don't trust yourself for a little while, because, you know, it takes time to absorb this. And people say, well, why didn't you say it years ago? People don't want to tell people. Do you want to tell people that you've had a horrific incident like that in your life? You just want to get on with it. You just want to put it behind you and get on with your everyday life. It's not until you run into severe injuries because of what's happened to you and your body starts breaking down or things happen that you seek help. You have to physically seek help. And, you know, it swings and roundabouts. Sorry, Tommy.
You know, I can compare being abducted to being raped, because a girl that gets raped
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, yeah, I agree.
refuses to come out to tell the story because they don't get help they need from it. They don't get the protection that they need, and they don't get the benefit. I mean, what would you say? The recoil of what should happen, like getting money and suing a guy, getting him permanently in jail, which doesn't happen most of the time. So they're afraid to. UFO people that see an alien, a creature in their house or in their yard, and get close to it, it changes their reality. Bud Hopkins came out with the idea of how to judge a person if they're crazy or not when he helped MUFON create MUFON. You
So if
can't.
victims, sorry, so victims of crime, because this is what's happened to me and you. I'm sorry, this break because this makes me really angry now. So we are victims of crime because we don't want to come forward and say we've been physically violated, mentally tortured, physically tortured. That doesn't make us victims of crime. But if a person came forward and said that they were raped or abducted, all these horrific things that happened to humans by the humans, or things, we're mad because we want to come forward and report these things. These crimes are happening to us. You've got, like Tommy says, there's no recourse for the human race. There is no recourse for rape victims. There is no recourse for abduction or people that have been tortured in any way. Who do you report it to? Are they going to believe you? So it is in that same category. People don't want to see that fact. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the scary part to all this, the UFO world, which I'm against right now, because I'm not going to say her name, one particular person, is trying to prove and show that cloning and all that's really good. Good for the planet, good for people, creating these clone alien humans and things like that, having people volunteer to get impregnated by an alien, that's a good thing too. You know, it's sad because they're taking us so far from the truth, accepting the lies, accepting the idea that they can help us. They can't help us.
It's actually in the UK, and I'm not sure. I think there is a worldwide global law against human beings mating with other species. It's called bestiality, and it's against the law. So for them to say, yeah, it's okay, come on, you got another species come into this planet physically taking you from your home in the middle of the night against your will and torturing you, taking bits and pieces out of you. You're not to be believed. You've been damaged physically, mentally. You're put back and you get no help whatsoever. And then people got the nerve to call you crazy. And then, oh yeah, I'm a believer because it's a really good experience. People are telling me that that's a good experience. I don't think so. Sorry, Tommy.
You know, when we bring up the word experiencer, these people that go on in the UFO conferences go, "Well, I had a great experience. I was standing by my bed and I was taken up to a planet and I was showed the future of the world. I was showed all the things." You know, the future of our world is being destroyed every second. We're not getting closer to a better future by what we allow to happen. You can't erase morals completely and then live by control of a few rich people and think we're going to move into a spiritual or a good space. Most people, and I do a lot of shows on that about spiritualism, there's no spiritual people on this planet, people, even though you think everybody you know or this person or that person is. They have no clue what God is. They have no clue what death is. They have no clue about reincarnation. They have no clue about all these words that are critical to
We
your
don't
soul when you die.
we
And
don't understand.
even the idea
Sorry.
that aliens can play with your soul and allowing that to happen. People have no idea how to protect themselves from that. The government's not giving it to them. Schools don't give it to them. Christianity and all world religions do not give that to them. Why do you think Sheena's in the place she is? She has no help, no protection. Now she's aware, which is a little bit better than not. I mean, ships over her house a lot. I mean, she's still being visited by them. They're still hanging out around her. I mean, not everybody can go out and look out up in the sky and see a ship over the house every other night. But you know, we got to be aware of what's going on. Now, where's our truth coming from? What truth? But the whole thing about the virus is implanted. It will destroy us within another year. What's going to happen? Now, realize if you pull up Agenda 21, it goes into the actual steps of each phase of each year. We're in phase 4. It says 2021. We're actually in 2024 because of what the phase we're doing and what we're going through and what's happening to the planet. Time speeds up, and when you write something down on a piece of paper, by the time that happens, it's already a time frame that's speeding up. So the times are not always right. Realize the UN agenda was created many, many years ago, before 2000. So they planned this a long time ago. And things that fit into that nobody talks about is the underground cities. And that would be the first place I would place my attention. Why do they have so many underground cities and not one person publicly knows about it? The government doesn't talk about it. Why? How did they build it? Where did the money come from? Who's in all these cities? Each city has about 10,000 people in them right now. Where are these people coming from? Where are they going? I mean, then the people that have these super houses for what's going to happen in the future, somebody like Oprah, what she has underground, I guarantee it's like living in paradise. Sure, they think they're going to go down and live in paradise, but people, rich people, realize it would take one real virus to affect the whole community underground in the city. It would spread and they would have no way to control it. And there would be no more city real fast. Thinking you hide, like sticking your head in the ground, will protect you? No, it won't. Putting a silver shield around yourself or a lead shield around you, you think that's going to save you? If an alien's knocking on your door, well, I got my lead hat on. I got my pyramid over my head. Now I'm protected. Really? The same as Christians think that demons, which they don't understand, or entities or aliens, are afraid of the word Jesus Christ. I did exorcism. That's not the word that's going to scare or get rid of it. You think an alien coming down to planet Earth is afraid you saying in the name of Jesus Christ is going to affect him and what they do to you? Oh, well, I'll tell you this. Go ahead, Tina.
The other side of that, Tommy, is you said, what actually are they afraid of coming here? We obviously, if we pose a microscopic threat to them in some way, I mean, for human beings, right? If we were true explorers, okay, this is just a make-believe scenario, but follow me with this. So we are a kind, loving species. We are explorers. People say that we are, okay. Want to spread our happiness and meet a few of our neighbours. There's no one about, so we go a bit further. So we're now going out into the world. We're going to go to Mars. So just suppose Mars is a lovely planet. We go there with what intent? These people don't know anything about aliens. They don't know how to protect themselves. But really, we're a nasty person with a smile on our face and want to go and greet them. We get there, realise they're a bit vulnerable or they're a bit defenceless. Now, what type of being do you think it takes to go to another planet under the guise of night again, go and we'll just take a few of their citizens. Doesn't matter if we accidentally kill them, we can just chop bits out of them, take what we want and dump the rubbish back there. That is what's happening to us. Now, if you think it takes a horrid person to do that, these beings of light are coming here and doing the same thing to us. What exactly are they frightened of? Obviously not us. There's more to this than meets the eye. People should be more wary and looking into this more seriously.
And see, here's our problem. Government has nothing to do with spirituality or spiritual truth at any level. So they don't care about that aspect of it. So they work with aliens. Why? All countries right now in power are dealing with aliens for one reason: for more power, more weapons. Not about anything about making our food better, air, water, or things like that better, helping us design better tools to play with. I mean, Tesla's tools that he brought out to the world, given to him from an alien, is only destroying the planet. And people don't understand that because basically time travel, which was created by Tesla, all right, took us from where we were in a balanced state and put us in an altered state. And people don't realize what it means really. Most people don't believe we actually do time travel, but we do, and we did. And in that, I was friends with one of the few people, probably the only one truly that I know, that actually went back in time and forward, was part of the Montauk Project and the Philadelphia experiment. He was one of the few people that lived through it. Everybody else died. All right, so when he said he was offered $4 million to go back in time to kill somebody because it already changed, because when they went there the first time, somebody died that was in politics. And they wanted to rearrange that so the politicians would be different people now. If that is true, people, realize what a government can do to a reality. They could go back to when Hitler was in, or Khrushchev. They could go back whenever they want. Just eliminate him before it happens. Recreate history, but are they going to make it any better no matter what they eliminate? No. If you don't know truth and you don't know spiritual aspects of life, you're not going to make things better. Mankind just makes more weapons. And on the other hand, if they're not into war, they're making more toys to play with. That's it. They don't do anything about our food, water. Oh, free energy. Yeah, but even in Hawaii, the windmills are producing energy that affects the children and makes them sick. So the energy that sounds like it's free is never free. There's nothing free on planet Earth. This is hell. This is where people serve out their karma. And you'll find out as you get closer to death, which every day you get closer to. Buddha said, think about it every day.
I was just going to answer John's question there. I should put a camera in my bedroom. Well, actually, my investigator recommended that. And I do have lots of cameras up inside my house and actually outside my house. Now, every now and then, I've had them now for a couple of years because, and you'll find every now and then that they'll just get flash, 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 flash. And all of a sudden, nothing. They will turn off. They will not record, or when you go to rewatch the footage back, it would be lines or nothing at all has been recorded. There's been nothing wrong with the cameras. And you do forget they're there after a while, but there are times when this does happen. And even if I did manage to record something, when something did happen, who's going to, but they're just going to say it's made up. So there's no. But all you've got to do, people, is go outside your house and don't take my word for it. In any part of the world that you're in, just go outside your house in the dark, 12 o'clock at night, pitch black, make sure you've got a nice clear, and just go out. You don't really need to have to be that clear. Just go out and look up. You'll see something.
People, I got a book. It's a PDF file. If you want it for free, just email me. All right. It's How to See a UFO Field Manual. It's about 200 pages. But if you follow it, go through it, you'll understand the simplest ways, the easiest way to see a UFO within a couple of weeks. If that's what you want. But see, people, when you get involved with something that you know nothing about, you try to get a little more involved. Then suddenly you're being pulled into something that maybe you should have never stepped in the first place. Getting involved with the UFO world, it wasn't my desire. It wasn't my wish. I was in a hospital at 6 years old watching a ship come in to try to abduct my brother. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to see that, but I stopped it. Don't ask me how or why. I did. But, these situations that people, oh, I wish that happened to me. No, you don't. It's like saying you wish you were dropped off in the middle of a battlefield in Russia or somewhere. Really? Would you want to be? What would you think could happen? Oh, I could see them shoot each other. Really?
When people say things like that, it really takes away from what's happened to you. It's as if they don't think it's real and it's a good thing. It's like Tommy said, like this stigma about being attacked or being raped or being tortured. You really poking fun at that when you say, oh, I want that to happen to me. You don't. People don't understand what you're saying to people who have been truly abducted. Tommy.
When we talk about the cameras, just from my own personal view, when I film ships and everything at nighttime, one or two at least at a night, when I go to put my camera on it, disappear the second I put the camera on it. They know if you're watching them. If they let you, they let you. If they don't, they don't. But if they're in your house, in your room, you think they want the world to see that? They would put it on a big screen and show the whole world if they wanted everybody to see it. They know when a camera goes on. They could shut it off. Their technology is thousands of years more advanced than us people. Do people understand what aliens are capable of? Now, just so everybody always says, well, if they wanted to destroy us, they could. They don't want to destroy us, people. But that doesn't mean they're good people. They're here for a reason. Everything in life has a reason to do something. And their reason to help us is none. There's no reason for them to help us. Help us stay alive? Yes, they need food. Outside of that, they need DNA, they need semen, they need all those kind of things, ovaries. But do they need us as good people? No. I mean, all you hear is the Anunnaki story over and over, how they made us slaves to mine gold. They can make gold. Technology, go into the future 1,000 years from now, see how you make gold instantly and come back and bring it today. That's what technology they have.
it's about technology and people. There's so many different aspects to this, and like Tommy says, the hybrid story. I know a male T. John, really nice chap, and through my investigator, the chairman of BFOG, and he works. He does some really good stuff around the world. Introduced us because I'd never met another abductee before, and he happened to be a male abductee. And I was talking to him, and I realised, this thing's happened to men. There's no counselling, nothing, and there's no help. But this girl he conceived is like he described her in detail what she looked like and things like that. And men are just inquisitive. They are the other part of the female. We are the same thing. But when she came to visit him, she, from what I understand, she conveyed to him that it's like she's kind of she ran away from the beings to be with her biological real father. But she was told she couldn't say anything, couldn't show herself to him. And she just wanted to be close to him. They hold the bond. Like I said in my book about the bonding, that she held this bond with him. She was curious about him and wanted to see him, but they wouldn't allow it. So, she was only there for a short time, like maybe a few minutes, but he'd seen her once or twice, I think, and that's it. And he knew straight away. So for one of them that they've created with us, a hybrid being, is scared of them. What does it say that, what does it say the true intent towards human beings are? Sorry, Tommy.
Oh, no, I was just trying to find a name. I'm trying to find the guy's name that shot the alien in the window. Stan Ramon. How do you say it? Roanoke. All right, people. All right. It's famous. You can pull his video up right now online if you just type alien in the window. He was in his house, and then this alien came right up to the window and looked in the window. And they tried to put it down for a while and say it was fake and this and that. And he's holding the camera, and you see this alien pop in the window. Well, they arrested him, and he was going to jail, and all kinds of things happened out of that. When a little bit of truth comes out, and I know personally 15 people that were killed or put in a nut house or in jail. Most of them were killed, especially in the UFO world. I mean, famous people, more famous than not. And the ones that are still out there, I'm going to say a name, Alex Collier. He was attacked by the government ever since he mentioned the Andromedans. He can't get a job. He can't get a place to live. They separated his family.
So this is a bit of segregation there. So the government are sidestepping all these people like us, people like the gentleman you've just mentioned, to turn around and just sidestep the fact that everyone's been right. To say, yeah, well, we brought into place this legislation. For this legislation to be put into place, they have to be pretty damn certain that the UFOs from other planets are here. Now they want to find out, yeah, we know they're here. What's their origin? Well, if you know they're here, then you've just taken away all the credit to all those people that have backed up their stories and come forward, or have had evidence and come forward and been called crazy. They're not. All these people are due apologies, so they're due compensation, and they need help. Well, no, it doesn't sit well. If they treat humanity like that.
A good friend of mine, he was attacked. He was in jail. He was in jail for the past couple of years. Just got out. He's dying of cancer. All right. He was the first person. This is an actual story, people. He's a good friend of mine. He was taking 4 to 5 people in a van from California going up to Area 51. He went on top of that mountain, and they would film the mothership come in every second Thursday. I'm talking about a giant mothership. The government caught him there. They had to buy all that land, and now it's the most protected, probably piece of land on the planet. All right. But in the interim, he still lectured. He was considered one of the top psychics from 1995 to the time he was arrested. But he was put in jail under 150 charges. You think after they had 5 or 10, they would have tried to put him in jail, but they had 150 charges against him. Not one person could come to testify against him. He was not allowed to testify for himself because he was a sovereign citizen. He was put in jail. Recently, because of his sickness and dying and everything else, they had to release him. They didn't want to pay for his treatment in jail. So people, the truth's out there. But to get it and to get the right people to tell you it is really hard, because people like to exaggerate whatever their story is. I know a friend of Tina, Travis Walton. I talked to him personally a couple of times and listened to his story. He still doesn't know what went on. I mean, Tina's still trying to find out some of the things that she doesn't know that went on. It's not like because you try to realize what happened, you know what happened. You think they don't mind programming people? And that's what 90% of the most, quote, big name speakers out there that call themselves experiencers have been programmed. You're on a ship. You're not going to be given anything good. Why don't they give them a gold brick to take home? Why don't they give them anything important? They don't. Not even a pen with a laser beam in it. They don't give them anything. So when people think that abduction and even being experienced is a good thing, they make it sound good. They're trying to put people into the world, because now they're trying to get people that...
To me, that's ignorance. People don't... I never delve into the subject before I wanted to come out. I only did that because I needed lots of medical questions answered. That shows people's ignorance. If you really want to turn around and... I think knowledge isn't a bad thing, right? But when you start saying silly things like, I want to be abducted or what have you, go out, do your research. Listen to these people. They have ideas. Some of them are whimsical ideas, but they do have ideas. Some stories are good. Some people are backed up by others. But everybody's story is different. And people like me must sound crazy to other people, because unless you've experienced it yourself or something's happened, it does. But don't brush it off. Do your research.
People, Tina's putting her book out next month. All right?
Yeah.
I want everybody that listens to me or hears me, buy it, because it's a real story. It's not dreamland. And help her get the rights that she deserves. She should be at every UFO conference, because she's a natural person that had the experience of being on a ship many times and is aware and alive. All right. She has an important story to tell people. Maybe these people that think it's so great and so, well, I want to have an alien baby. Really? Do you want to have a monkey for a baby? You want to have a cow for a baby? But why would you want an alien that you don't know for a baby?
It takes so much of your life from you. People don't realize that.
But she'll show you the cover of a book at the end of the show. Please, once it comes out, I want to help her get it out there everywhere, because people need to read the real story, not somebody, well, the aliens gave me a chicken dinner and it was so good, and all these stupid things that they'll say. Did they get a new pair of shoes? Anything? So, people, we do this show to bring the truth out. Now, anybody that listens or hears this, please send this link to everybody you know, if you're willing to, because more people need to know that the truth is coming out very little, and there's very few people putting it out there. The UFO worlds, conventions, are talking about what they think, which is useless, and then they come out with stories that are so old. We don't need to hear about Roswell anymore. We got things happening right now. Tina's life is present. It's not then. She's still being affected. She's going through a lot of things. To look at, like she's saying, let's watch a video of these old ships. There's ships and videos, incredible videos every day, because everybody has a camera now. I went out for 5 minutes and saw 3 ships within 5 minutes, people. I'm in Hawaii. So imagine wherever you are, go out to a clear sky without lights, and you'll see thousands of things. Well, if you'll be lucky, you might see 2 ships in a night. Even that's still something that you never did before. But realize it's real. And we're not making stories up just to put some stupid story on the internet. I don't do this to make money. Neither does Tina. Not right now. When she puts a book out, I hope she gets money. She deserves it. The government's not helping her.
People say, oh, you come forward to sell your book, because abductees have no recourse whatsoever. They get no help, no medical help, no physical help, no protection from the government, no protection from the military to stop people coming down and taking them and torturing them. You get no help whatsoever. People want to stare at you, laugh at you, call you crazy. But that is just demeaning what has actually physically happened to you. So, there is no, who do I report it to? Who do you get help to? So the only recourse for an abductee is people say, well, you write a book. Well, I have wrote a book, but I'm telling you, you might not like what's in it, because it's just the truth. People, there it is there, the bonded, the truth about alien abduction.
I think it's a great cover.
My sister-in-law did that. She's very good. She's very good. And it's this the license, by the way, that image. But so people don't realise this is the only way people like me or people before me could get the word out about what's actually happening. And people like to brush it over and think it's a fairy tale or fairy story, and it's not. Get out there, do your own research, people, because people, you've probably been abducted and don't even know it. If you do, you don't remember anything. You're one of the lucky ones.
Well, what I want to say is people like Corey Good and all these big name people coming out right now saying what the alien showed them is going to happen to the planet. Well, if they could show them what's going to happen to the planet, it means they already can change or rearrange what's happening to the planet. So it's a controlled idea, which they put in people's minds. Now, Bill Myers, even though he did a lot of stupid things in his life, he came out with 100 prophecies in 1950, and about 89 of them came true. So whatever alien he worked with, which was the Pleiadians, actually gave him what they saw happening. All right. Now, on that, almost all the other people that I know in the UFO world, the one from Australia, Cassidy, whatever his name is, I was right on with him when he first came out. Then he went out to James Gillen's ranch, and I warned him about doing that. And then his whole consciousness shifted. And because he predicted that within 2 years, the world was going to be destroyed, which never happened. All the prophecies, now, even all these names coming out, what they say is going to happen. The Mayan calendar was given to the Mayans by an alien race. Duh. But did it change anything in 2000, 2012, any of the time frames? No. Oh, well, we didn't do anything. We only imagined we'd been better off and we became better spiritual beings, which is a delusion by most people. All right. Tina is a person that's real. I mean, she's dealing with symptoms of radiation poisoning. She's doing everything she can to bring the truth out. She's not doing this for money, people. Neither am I. So, yeah, some UFO people like, I'm not going to say their names, write a book every month. And they make tons of money on it because they got, what, 150,000 followers.
They write about other people's abductions.
And then they write about what they think. All right. Who cares? They don't know. And what they're saying isn't going to be beneficial to the human race. Not that many people out there say anything beneficial to the human race. We can't give you the steps to become a spiritual being. I can in a degree if you listen, but people don't want the truth anymore. Lies, if it sounds good, is what they want to hear. Oh, that sounds great. Going on a ship, getting a child and bringing a child into this. Really? An alien? And what's going to happen then? What's the alien going to do for mankind? People never think a scenario out. And it's not that complicated. Can you hear that? A thunder just went off real loud in Hawaii. All right.
Oh, God, your volcanoes are erupting. On that note, I think it's that time. Guys, yeah, I've got a Geiger counter here. Tommy has the exact same one, and now he's had a bit of thunder over there. Perhaps it's a good time to let it go off because he'd probably have a bit of electrical discharge in the air. So this is a Geiger counter. Wow. Tommy recommended. I just got it on Amazon because I thought it was a joke at first. So I didn't believe what Tommy said, but I did. So there's a Geiger counter. I went and got one. He said, go and get one. We'll find out what's going on. So push the button to turn it on and off. So at the top there, you will see a sign saying there volts per meter, which is there. Now I have what you call a smart screen TV on a computer. It doesn't give off electrical magnetic field, so it doesn't damage my brain while I'm talking to you guys. Tommy's, however, does unfortunately go off while he's talking to us because his isn't a new one like mine, so it does give off radiation or electrical magnetic field. So Tommy, turn his on and hold up to camera, and his will start beeping or flashing. You'll see it in a second. There you go. So the top is giving off electrical magnetic field. So mine isn't, but when I put it near me, sometimes it beeps a lot, and that scares me. Some doesn't, but theoretically, it shouldn't give off anything. I know humans have low level, what have you, but we, as humans, we don't give off radioactivity. So here we go. So that is, I don't know if you can see that, guys. That's actually micro Teslas radiation, and it's so when it beeps, Jesus, that's high. So when it beeps, I'm trying to get it closer to the screen. When it beeps like that and it flashes red, it means it's given off severe radiation and it's damaging to life. So anytime it's a high reading, there's 1 point something, then it means not only is it above, many times above the average, that
Mine's
my
at
body's
150 on
actually
the top. See, people, just so you know, wait, that's not normal. What Tina is showing you is not normal. Scientists says it's impossible. For a person to have radiation on different parts of the body going up and down is not normal or possible. They don't even know how it can happen.
126 there.
Oh, the
last week
going
wasn't
off
even
again.
registering. 147. Do you see that go? 162.
I was thinking of sticking mine outside. I wonder if any radiation's coming down in the rain.
But what gets me is it goes down there. So how can I be given off? This flashing is telling you it's a danger to life. So when it flashes, this is a high dose. When you have a high dose, you can't get rid of it, people. So here, nothing. Oh, there you go. Sorry. So what, if anyone could tell me, at the top is no electrical magnetic field whatsoever. Bottom is micro Teslas. And it's whizzing up and down. I
got to get a new computer screen. Mine's going to kill me soon enough.
So underneath my arm is 0.54 down to 35.
Tina, that's the highest it's been in a while, what you got today.
Yeah, it was 1 point something. So when it flashes, that's really extreme level. I don't know if you can, that's 1.3440. So the flashing noise is telling you, that's an alarm to tell you it's a dangerous to life. So you see it, there's 125 a year. 124. That's the highest it's been in a long time. Normally it doesn't flash. My chest is not beeping on my chest. So it's very centered radiation. I don't know how.
John, you brought up Kerry Cassidy. I was friends with her. I'm friends with her, but she believes everything. She believes too many things. Every whistleblower that comes on, she believes them. I don't. So, you know, the word truth is really important when it comes to saying things like that. What's happening to the world, what's going to be destroyed, and things like that. Why aliens are really here. Tina has proof. And I mean, I've been trying to get people that would actually work with her to get her actual files from the hospital even. Even that she can't get because they're afraid to release it. Now, I had friends
recording from my surgery, yeah.
I had friends when I was about 22, 25 that were abducted and they lost their child. But she showed me x-rays or sonograms, whatever you want to call them, the day before they took the child. She was in a hospital. And then the next day it was gone. And when she went back to the hospital couldn't find one actual piece of evidence that she was pregnant. Another impossibility. And you know, when you do a sonogram and you see a little baby in there, and then the next day there's nothing there, it's kind of bizarre. But I dealt with these people. I wasn't doing it to make money. I was doing it to help these people. So I was doing hypnosis. I was doing regression. I was doing... Back in those days, I'm talking about the 60s, late 60s and stuff like that, when it started becoming underground public. UFOs were never like mainstream public because you were crazy if you mentioned it. All right, I was always called crazy, even when I worked at a phone company. Everybody thought I was crazy.
I've got to go and be cut off now because my partner's home and just about to have our tea because it's just gone 8 o'clock.
Hold on, let me close this window. I can't hear a thing. It's pouring so hard.
Is that rain? It must be rain. I know you said there was thunder there. You can definitely hear it. We've had a bit of snow. We had a tiny bit of snow here in the UK, but that's kind of dissolved away. So we've gone from
about that. It's
0 to -1.
So noisy.
I was just telling you guys, we just went from -1 to 10 degrees today. So, right. So for me here in the UK, I'm just going to read Any Truth. Hot Roses are crazy, right? So this is going to be my new book, guys. It's called The Bonded: The Truth About Alien Abduction by T.A. Bird. So hopefully this is coming out very shortly. I want to try and add a few more bits and sort it all out before I do it. I want to try and get it right. So it takes me a bit longer because I have dyslexia, so it does take me that little bit longer, and I do it all myself as well. So, but for me here in the UK, I've been in Southampton, and my name is Tina Barrett. Again, we're here next week. Any questions you'd like to ask me or Tommy, please come into the show. If you'd like to be a part of the show and you'd like us to question you about your experiences, please do so. We will ask you a lot of questions. Or if you have an answer to a previous show where we have asked questions, and if you have any light to shed on any of our comments or questions, please message me or Tommy. Tommy will put his email address up there any second now, so you guys can email Tommy. So Tommy put his email up there. So if you'd like to come on to the show or ask Tommy a question or send him best wishes or anything like that, please do so. And I will be here next week. It's the 1st of December here tomorrow in the UK, guys. So advent calendars at the ready tonight, ready for tomorrow. There's Tommy's email address up there now. And I wish you all the best. And I'll see you in the first week in December next week. So from me then, bye everybody, and stay safe and just look up. Tommy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show, and I'll see you next week.
It's always a pleasure. I hate to see you go.
Bye, guys. Thank you for.
Well, that was Tina Bird. She's a great person. Please, her book's coming out by the end of December. I suggest everybody read it if you want to know about real abduction, what it means, what happens, and everything else along the way. Nothing's been good for her about it. Not one thing. So people, you're not going to feel better, be rich, be famous, or anything because you saw an alien. But sadly, there might come a time when people become famous because they had an alien walk out of their house and say, hey, here's my friend from Venus or Mars or Jupiter or whatever. But it's not going to be good ever, people. Mark my word. If you want to watch a movie that'll describe what could really happen, and probably will. All right. The movie V, was on for a couple months. It was a great story, but you need to really think about what's happening in that, because that's the way it'll go down. If aliens wanted to be friends with us, really be friends with us, there'd be no problem, would there? Right in front of the White House. Hey, Mr. President, come on out. We want to teach you a couple things, and then let's show the world what we can do. I mean, it would be real simple if that's what they wanted. It is not, people. All our history was race after race killing race after race. When Atlantis was destroyed, the idea of being spiritual, have psychic abilities, were taken away. We were turned into killers, rapists, murderers, sacrificing people, abusing, abuse. All those words came into play. It wasn't a natural thing for a human. God created a human perfect, not like the door, nothing's perfect. Well, the human body was. It could eliminate and destroy any defective cell within it. It purified its own self. But bringing millions and millions of poisons and toxins inside the body, the lymphocytes in our body are limited. So if you keep bringing more defective things into it, the army becomes weaker and weaker, and that's what happens to humans. Now, without saying words, the things we inject in our body destroy our immune system all the time. I mean, they tell you this is good for that. Read the label and how many things it's bad for. Why is it they're allowed to go on TV and say this prescription may kill you? May kill you. And that's okay. But you get an injection. Well, this won't kill you. This won't do anything bad to you ever. Really? People, do you really listen to things to find the truth or just for entertainment? Watch TV. It's great entertainment. Watch a movie. It's great entertainment. Where do you go for truth? There's one show. Everybody, if you don't have it, rent it on your cable channel, whatever. Vice, V-I-C-E, the Vice channel. They show you real news all the time. They show you how Musk and Gates made tons of money off of the virus. They show you what's happening to the native people. They show you the things for real. They show you what drug addicts do and how they live and how they make it and everything. They show everything. They might put a black screen mask over the person's face and do things like that, muffle his voice. But you're hearing it for real. The actual murderer, killer, drug addict, whatever it is, it's real. All right, people want to know where Atlantis is. Obvious it was in the Atlantic Ocean. But They're trying to prove that it's everywhere under the sun, and they do not know where it really was. All right. Snowden is probably one of the most important people out there. He tried to bring truth out. Look what happened to him. People of truth don't live long. I'm here. Why? I tried when I do other shows than this one, and it's about spiritual truth, and nobody cares about that. Tell all you want, because nobody knows it. Period. I'm surprised they didn't ask Tina for any proof about what's happening to her, or come to her house. I would expect they saw radiation on a person that's alive. They would want to know why and how come she's still alive. The movie with Meryl Streep, I forgot what it was called, when she was exposed to radiation and stuff. Incredible movie. But look about what radiation does, how it affects. Tina had all the effects of radiation. She's losing her nails. She's losing her teeth. She's losing her hair. She's passing out. So she has a lot of the main symptoms of radioactive poisoning. Her dog died. Radiation was in its bones. I told her the dog probably was abducted with her. Or maybe just in the room when the alien came in. Who knows? But the dog died. When you lose something, you might realize, if you want to go on a ship and you lose your animal around you or something, you might say, hey, maybe it wasn't a good idea to do that. But being abducted is not a pleasure or a thing that we want, people. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of stories. I don't want to, Atlantis is the most important story for realizing that we were once spiritual beings on planet Earth. And that was taken away. We are not spiritual beings anywhere on this planet, people. Nobody is, or they wouldn't be here. There's no reason to be here. To save mankind from what? Their ignorance? Their passion? Most people want to come back. Why would you want to come back to planet Earth? Come to my show. I'm doing a workshop. Anybody really interested in the truth, you can still get into it. I did six levels already. I got a lot more to do. I've been dealing with my partner, just had the injection, was sick for 3 weeks after it. A month later, she has her heart stops. She went to the hospital. Luckily, we got her to the hospital. She died 3 times in the hospital. Had to fly her to the other island to give her a pacemaker. She's back home. I had to go over there and get her and bring her back. But she's got to go to a doctor in a little while. Went to a doctor yesterday. All because of why? She got the you-know-what. And they will not admit to that. More children are dying because of it, people. Let's kill your children. Oh, I got to make sure my child gets it. Really? And when we were in the hospital, the doctor told my partner, I wasn't in, I'm not allowed in the hospital. I don't have the injection. Well, the doctor told her more people are having heart attacks that get the injection. And that's a fact right now. But do you think they want to tell the numbers of the bad things about it? No, let's tell them the supposedly good things about it. People, we're in trouble. The truth matters. They might take the show down. But if you're here and watching it right now, you're lucky. If they leave it up, you're lucky. I'm lucky. But the truth is out there. It's online everywhere if you look enough. Go into government sites. Go into a lot of these places, and you'll see that it's there. They have to list everything they do to make a vaccine. Well, inside the United States, we have plants, whatever you want to call them, trying to make, I'm not lying about this, people. I found it out when I was trying to find out where the actual clinics are. And it says they're making vaccines without an antidote. Why would you want to make a vaccine, a virus, without a vaccine, an antidote for it? And they won't list where they are, because then people would go after it. But they do have it. And it's listed among the numbers of clinics or buildings and whatever, warehouses, workshops that are creating on these viruses. I met a person personally that was in the lab who worked in the Army, working on viruses, watched him take the virus out of the lab, the one that has all the viruses in the United States, and bring it to Japan, to China. Years ago. Back, people. She's out there. She's alive. She's telling the story where she worked and what she did and what she saw. And then they turned around and said it was stolen. The truth is there, people. If you'd rather listen to these UFO people or these so-called spiritual people telling you lies, about how you're protected. You're not protected from the government, and you never will be, not on planet Earth. FEMA camps were set up for a reason. Underground cities were set up for a reason, people. Nobody talks about it. Not one person in government. Global changes, not one person in that talks about the real problems behind it. Al Gore, when he came out and said global warming, he was paid millions of dollars to create that scenario, which is happening. But nobody's talking about the real reasons why it's happening. Do you listen for truth at all? Anybody out there? Do you want to hear something that's really happening? All right, her dog died, but don't ever mention it to her because she told me that the doctor tested radiation in its bones. But again, her beautiful dog died about a month and a half ago. When you lose something that close, it's a hurtful thing, especially when you're in her situation. She's going through serious problems in her body. The dentist has no reason why the teeth are just falling out of her mouth, why her fingernails just fall off, why these things are happening. Because they're not going into the details of what's really going on in her body. I tell her, the aliens are keeping her alive for a reason. When you read her book, you'll see she has a family up on a ship. They all have her awareness, and they can communicate with her. I think that's why the aliens are keeping her alive. I told her many times. But here's the thing, people. Listen to her story. It's as real as it gets because it's her story, and it really happened to her. She didn't wake up in a dream and dream all this away. She had implants cut out of her body by her boyfriend. She had something cut out of her stomach in the hospital. And we can't even get that video. The government won't allow it. They film every operation in England. There's so many things going on. And I only deal with the truth. If I bring a person on, a second I realize they're not real, I can them. But I had Laura Eisenhower on my show. And we talked for, I don't know, was it 2 hours? It was a pretty long time. But she agreed with everything I said. Then when I pulled into her site the week after, she has the twisted opposite ideas of everything I ever said, including she's a MJ Ultra person, and she went to the Venus with the president and all those kind of things. Well, without going into the bad things, she's got a lot of problems. All right, most people do. And if she ever was really next to an alien or a ship or something like that, yeah, she's reprogrammed. It's the same as when I told her I know more about her grandfather than she does. And very few people know much about her grandfather. Eisenhower and Truman who created the whole scenario of MJ-12. It's all important, people, but if you don't know anything about it, nobody's going to talk about it. The UFO world is so into brainwashing you to believe good aliens are going to come here and help us. When? And what are they going to do for us, really? All right. We tried destroying a comet, which we're not going to be able to do. The things that we have, our technology is not that advanced compared to what we would assume aliens would have. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is facts, and you're not going to find the truth anywhere else. The United States had 3 wars with aliens in space already. Russia had war with aliens in space already. Whether we actually work together or not, I can't prove that. But Putin said himself, 2 alien races want to destroy the planet. Why would he say that unless he knew that? Putin said that on live Russian TV. So he's not hiding that. He said he wants global warming because then he can do farming more months in a year than not. So people have ideas and delusions, but what people work from is nothing called spiritual. And I'll debate any person out there claiming to be spiritual or religious, online, on TV, live, or offline, if they're willing to put their trivial little truth against the truth. Truth is, God is real, Jesus was real, angels are real, demons are real, deities are real, Bigfoot's real. So, aliens are real. But so what? Which one of them can help you in any way? And what are they going to help you do? With that, peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life, hope you get it. This whistle drives me crazy. I got to stop it. She got it. My partner is disabled right now, so she's having a hard time. So With that, are you ready for the truth? Really? Well, till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. I'll say this again before I close. I'm doing a workshop, people. Truth about spiritual awareness and truth. Nobody else can do it because nobody else out there is talking about God. Nobody else is actually talking about death. Nobody else is actually talking about reincarnation in a way where it's going to be beneficial to you, not to them or anybody else. Truth means what? Waking you up aware of yourself being soul, what that really means. I listen to these people. One lady said she's going to pray for me today, and she says she has a direct relationship with God. Really? And I said, well, what did God tell you lately? Anything important? What did God do for you anything lately? Really? You think God talks to people on planet Earth? Why would it? We're in a low life right now in his spiritual worlds. When you get into the higher worlds, yeah, you might be able to communicate with God, but not here. What person on this planet deserves to talk to God right now? You? Really? For what reason? I'm not going to go into my story. My story is a little different. I went through hell back 10 times over. But I work with saints. Not I work with them. I work with Shiva. I work with a lot of deities. I work with a lot of different things. They all help me to open my eyes as far as the truth. You can only get a limited truth from anything other than God because they don't know everything. No entity, no spirit, no being does. Jesus was never God. Jesus had the truth about how to get closer to God. And that's what he was teaching people. Not about protecting your sorry little ass from all the stupid things you do. You can't get protected from that. That's called karma. Even Buddha explained that detail. If you don't know what karma means, you better look it up. Green Tara is the green deity. I work with her. Almost 5 years I work with her. Not on planet Earth. Deities don't come down here to teach you how to work on planet Earth. There's nothing you learn here that'll help you in the next world. How to be nice? You don't have a solid body. You can't kill people in the astral plane. So even if you put a knife and a club and whatever weapons you think could help protect you, you can't do anything there with them. There's so much people that nobody talks about because they don't even have that experience yet. Are you ready? Tune into my workshop. Like I said, I was going to charge a person, and I decided let it just be a donation if anybody wants to donate to it. But it's getting deeper. I didn't even get into the deepest part of it yet. And I did 6 classes. So please, if you're ready, if you're willing, if you want the truth, more of the truth than not, tune into that. Come back here. Ask your questions here. I'll answer them. And if it gets into a spiritual point, I'll directly communicate with you on Skype because Tina is kind of in a space where you think she should care about God. God doesn't care about her. Her viewpoint. So again, people, we got a lot to go through, a lot to get into, and a lot more truth to bring out. But do you want it? Do you want to know what's going to happen to the world? Is it going to be destroyed again? Probably. I feel it deserves to be. We destroyed every moral. We took away every moral. We allow more abuse than not. People do not know what love is at any level anymore. Sex is the most important thing. I'm not saying it's wrong. But when it overcomes your awareness and stopping you from understanding that there is a real God, that you're accountable for every action you do and things like that, guess what? It's destructive. So people, my email's up there, hawksblood1al.com. If you're interested in the workshop at all, truth and God only at AOL.com, that's where my mail goes for that. Truth and God only, AOL.com. All right, people. Fixing karma, learning from your mistakes. No, that's not how it goes. You reincarnate over and over and do the same mistakes every day. Until you start looking for spiritual awareness, you're not going to know what's right or wrong anyway. A lot of people say there is no bad, there's no wrong. No, when you punch somebody out, you should realize why it's wrong. If you kill somebody, guess what? You're not going to pay it off. Not in this lifetime. So there's things that even in the Bible says that. And Christians don't want to read that. It's in Revelations, people. Revelations is a short chapter to read. If you want to read it, you'll read where John wrote what sins can't be forgiven. Read it if you're a Christian. Learn what's not going to be forgiven by you. Oh, forgive me, Jesus. No, that doesn't work. Jesus wasn't here to forgive everybody. All these things that man creates to protect himself from what? All right, people. Peace, love, compassion again. Till next time, next week. I'll be doing a show this weekend. I'm dealing with a lot, but I'm still trying to stay afloat. Till next time.